play that pace. The Valkyries.
The expansion team, they put players together on the fly, and they have come together quickly. Many people had this Valkyries team finishing last in the WNBA this year. They are 9-9. Having some trouble here on the opening possession, and that's an offensive foul.
How about that? Right offensively, that's one thing that we know teams are trying to attack her on the defensive end. She's a better defender than people give her credit for.
What a job Natalie Nakase has done in her first year as the head coach. As Clark had it poked away. And a turnover apiece here to start this one. Martin launches way outside. Free ball won't fall, and there's Clark with the rebound. Kate Martin, by the way, 3-0 in her WNBA career against Caitlin Clark. Clark looking for her first win here this afternoon. Austin backing in on a former teammate. Finds Natasha Howard. She's got the size advantage. Howard flips it up, but leaves it short. Good defense by Martin.
Kate Martin also 3 for 5 in the last game from beyond the arc. A tremendous three-point threat for the Valkyries, which is last in the league in three-point percentage.
Burton drops it. In fact, Benley lets it fly and misses. And Clark has 2 early rebounds, and now it's Clark off to the races. And this pace of play, it's a change of pace. Howard battling underneath. Burton comes down with the rebound. Teams have missed their first 2 shots here tonight, and Burton changes that with the first points of the night.
Veronica Burton had a great start on the road in Atlanta. She made 3 triples in the first quarter. So she is gaining a lot more confidence as an offensive player. We already know what a great defender she is.
Here's Mitchell, who's been red hot and rolls her first shot in. She is just playing with so much confidence right now. As the step through won't fall. Clark, bounce pass Mitchell, fires it up and draws the foul.
Now when Kelsey Mitchell turns the corner and gets her hips and shoulders past the defender, she's either going to score or get to the free throw line.
Kelsey Mitchell earned her 3rd straight All-Star selection, and she will play on Team Clark. Clark drafted her yesterday. She has been on a torrid stretch here. 24 points per game, on 58% from the three-point line over her last 6. And Stephanie White, who's so rarely had her full group available, has that here this afternoon. No injuries for either team here coming into today.
Damaris Dantas is back from the AmeriCup, so we might see some minutes out of her today. She did warm up.
This is a Valkyries team that's been much better at home than on the road this year. 2-6 away from home. They've really played well in their own building. As Tiffany Hayes gets her first points here in the afternoon. Clark feed inside. They have this size advantage with Howard. They've gone to her a couple times. She sets up McDonald, who drops a 3.
Really nice job sliding into the slot. And Natasha Howard runs, so when you run ahead of the basketball, you're going to get rewarded playing with Caitlin Clark. It's going to create all kinds of opportunities.
This is McDonald's 8th game with the Fever, but her first playing with Caitlin. Initially came over from the hardship exception from the Clark injury. Clark crossing over on the drive, steps back and knocks it down.
So good at separation skills. Really good getting in a paint. That's what makes her dangerous, is she gets in the paint, she can score or make a play for someone else.
Clark's had a penchant of playing well in her first games, either of the season or back from injury. In fact, Benley lays that one in.
Look at the attack, how quickly up the floor.
And Clark hits a 3. The Fever have hit 4 straight shots after missing their first 2. Burton off target. Howard with a steal. Howard 2-on-1. Howard will take it herself, flip it up. Shot too strong.
Good defense by Martin.
This is a Valkyries team that has excelled defensively, 3rd in the league in defense. They allow a league-low 40% for their opponents from a field goal percentage perspective. There's Veronica Burton dialing up a 3. Look how quickly Indiana gets in transition. That's just such a change with Clark on the floor and a cutting Howard for 2. finish on the other end. And Clark once again looking to push. Lob ahead. Howard's been her favorite target here so far. That one was knocked away.
Transition.
And Mitchell finds some space on the inbound. Indiana's offense really humming here to start this afternoon.
And they've made the Valkyries play a little faster offensively than they like to play.
Burton feed inside, and a cutting Monique Billings lays it in. She's just come in off the bench, along with Carla Late. And a lot of contact, and there is the foul on Late.
Mitchell's free throws. Head coach Stephanie White coming over to check in on Caitlin, ask her how she's doing.
Kelsey, thank you. And yes, this is something this is much
so
quicker.
Fast. I mean, there's game speed is a reason why we talk about it. It is hard to simulate in practice, but boy, she looked pretty quick in the up and down so far.
Mitchell off the mark with a jump shot. Lexi Hull tracks it down. Boston on the drive, flips it up and flips it in.
Lexi Hull is an incredible hustle player and keeps the ball alive on a lot of different situations.
Hull has started 15 of the 18 games this year. Not today, as Stephanie White chose to keep Mary McDonald in the starting lineup, but you can imagine Lexi will play tons of minutes here this afternoon. Burton into the corner. Late misses on a three. That's Carla Late, a rookie out of France who played her last game against the Fever and has been dealing with injury. Has not played since that June 19th game. Late feed inside. Janelle Salon, also a member of Team France. Here's McDonald, straight up the gut, coast to coast, and draws the foul.
Well, Indiana is really playing down. You got to adjust to the whistle. Coach Nakase didn't like that call.
So Ari McDonald, who is a career 84%. Let's take a look at Debbie's Keys, presented by Lexus TX.
Well, this is a team in the Valkyries that scores in the paint, and you got to defend inside out. You got to execute dead ball situations, and that means you're probably going to give up some offensive boards. So Indiana has got to keep the pressure on in transition and keep pushing the pace, and doing so by advancing the ball ahead to those that are running ahead of the ball.
And it's been a terrific first quarter for the Fever here so far this afternoon.
She fell down with the ball.
There is Thornton battling through a triple team. Really good defense by Indiana, and Hull pulls down the rebound. Sophie Cunningham, she's checked in for her first minutes. Boston turns the corner on the drive. Bank shot too strong. Boston gets her own rebound and has it sent back. Good block there by Billings. Thornton making her first All-Star appearance in a little over a week, and Billings connects on a three.
How about the D and the 3 of Monique Billings? 6'4" player in her 8th year. I think this is her 5th team. And she's always found a way to be on our roster because of her defense.
Boston kick out. McDonald wide open, but misses on a triple. Thornton running the floor. Nobody picks her up. She goes coast to coast. The left hand won't fall. And a loose ball foul on the Fever. It'll
Won a title with New York. This year she's an all-star.
lob inside for Billings, who hangs on. Couldn't finish underneath. Clark back on the floor. Spent the time during the timeout on the bike. Clark from the mid-range, too strong. Hull another offensive rebound. Drops it for Cunningham, who hits a three.
Sophie Cunningham is due outside the arc. She gets a lot of catch-and-shoot threes, and she's got to start making those for the Fever.
Michaela Timpson, who played big minutes without Dantes, a little over-aggressive. That shot starts falling. The Fever have another big-time weapon. Late was left open for three, and she got bowled over after she shot it. Stretch holding back-to-back opponents under 60. One of those, the Commissioner's Cup game, it did not count toward official standings and official stats, but it was the first time a WNBA team had done that, hold their opponent under 60 in back-to-back games since 2003.
Well, when you look at overall efficiencies, Pat, they're in the top 5 in both offense and defense. Now, last year, the defensive efficiency was last. But over the last 10 games, their defensive efficiency numbers have given up a little bit. It looks like Clark slips on the floor.
With some contact that led to her falling as well. The Fever will take a timeout.
Areas. They've been in way too many close games and have lost too many double-digit leads in the fourth quarter.
Here's Hull, aggressive drive, kick out Cunningham, who launches and misses. Caitlin Chen is checked in for her first minutes. Natalie Nakase goes deep. One of the strengths of this team is its versatility. They'll go 8-9 deep. They'll play bench players 20-plus minutes. They do start 5 players, but in reality, they've got a group of 8 or 9 that they're really comfortable playing starters-type minutes.
I think this is one of the better coaching jobs in the league, and Natalie Nakase. I look at their team and I see them all very similar in size, which allows them to play the kind of pressure defense that they play. Great ball pressure, good scheming, good understanding of why rebounding is important.
For Golden State has cut a 9-point Fever lead down to 4. And they'll trade offensive fouls.
So here's a situation right here where you have a 2-for-1, Pat. So this is an opportunity for the Fever when we're talking situations. Clark coming off the stagger.
Clark on the drive into a triple team, lost the handle. Late launches, way off the mark. Now a 3-second different shot clock and game clock. The Fever can hold for close to the last shot.
They like to go 1-4 low in this situation. They're going to run a trap at Caitlin.
Cunningham shot fakes the 3 and just ran out of bounds. Fever won't have the last shot, and instead it's Golden State with a look right up the middle. And nobody picked up Janelle Salon. And a 9-point. Here is the Fever rookie going to work, shot too strong.
I mean, every Valkyrie was in a stance, high hands, good feet, good communication. I can hear him talking from here.
Hayes drives on Clark. Hayes hangs, shot too strong.
Well, it's a part of the game plan. Anyone that Caitlin is defending, they're trying to drive her to the basket and pick up some fouls.
McDonald can't connect on the 3 ball. Offensive rebound. Lexi Hull has 3 of them already. Clark on a hard hedge there. Took some contact. Here's Howard, just has to fire it up, but draws the foul.
See, under 10 seconds, that is a great defensive tactic by the Valkyrie throw line.
So Natasha Howard, one of the many Fever players who has really picked up her game lately, heads to the line. Crossed the 2,000 rebound threshold in her career on Saturday as well. And now a message from CareSource.
Brought to you by CareSource.
Shooting really efficiently here lately, and that has risen her all the way up to 3rd in the league in field goal percentage. So the Fever have 2 of the top 3 players in field goal percentage. It's their starting front court of Howard and Boston.
I believe Indiana still leads the league in paint points. Aaliyah Boston has yet to get really going yet. She's on the bench right now. But that's part of the depth of Indiana and the rotations with Caitlin Clark back.
Fever applying some good pressure here. Shot clock down to 5. Leticia Me here drives, and with the shot clock sounding, banks it home. Kase has already gone 10 deep. 3 bench players on the floor right now. Here's Howard back on the attack. Bounce pass to Burton, who can't finish inside.
5 on 4.
Clark tries to take advantage. Hull will with a 3.
Wide open on the push. Everyone
is in this building, and then vice versa once we get into Fever season.
Mike Weiner is an excellent offensive mind as Ami here just chucks Ari McDonald's ball pressure.
Anybody here so far tonight? Into double figures in the minutes category. There is McDonald inside for Boston, who's back on the floor. Boston, handoff McDonald.
Beautiful give and go. Great basket cut by McDonald.
They relieve Burton, and she makes him pay.
Really shooting the ball with confidence.
Been a breakout fourth season for Veronica Burton. Here is Clark, cross-court pass, hole pulls up. Good hands there by McDonald. Get away, stop the fast break.
I mean, watch Ari McDonald right here. Watch what her defense does. Her defense, Caitlin Chen turns her head in the bucket. That's exactly what Ari McDonald is supposed to do. Very well done.
Veronica Burton averaging career highs in points, assists, and rebounds. Here is Burton, extra pass, Chen is open, and splashes home a three.
Indiana looks like they're trying to double the block a little bit. Not something we typically see them do.
Back-to-back three-pointers for Golden State have made her.
You have to be able to change the rhythm of the game, and there's a lot of ways you can do it, Pat. You can substitute, you can change your defense, you can change your pace offensively, and you can change personnel. You can't play the same way the whole time for 40 minutes in this league. You have to be able to change it.
Valkyries have not led since the early moments of this game, but they will retake the lead. First since 2-0, in fact.
Salon with a nice take off the bounce.
McDonald sizing up Thornton on the crossover. Shifty move into the lane, lost the handle. And Howard, an offensive foul. She pushed off. Some frustration as the Fever have lost a 9-point lead. They led by 7 just moments ago. And you ask, how is this Golden State team doing this? How are they 6th in the league? Well, their defense has been so good, and it keeps them in every game.
It's been excellent.
It's doing so again here today. Fagbenle too far underneath. That was a terrific.
Sometimes you just got to eat one. Eat that turnover.
Mitchell off the screen, turns the corner, gets inside, had it deflected. Indiana having trouble once they get into the paint here today. Fire ahead, here is Salon. Howard has her pinned. Line drive three is off the mark from Salon. Boston has become really comfortable running the floor. Handoff Mitchell, who finds some space. Now it's Thornton, who has the size advantage on a fellow All-Star, and Kelsey Mitchell. Thornton shot too strong. They will be teammates, by the way. Caitlin Clark drafted her. Fagbenle runs into Cunningham, and it's a blocking foul.
Well, the Valkyries, this is a possession game when you play the Valkyries, because they will turn it over, but they don't give up much on the defensive end. And their pace is off of opportunities. So if you turn it over and you give them offensive rebounds, you give them extra possessions, it fits right into the makeup of their team and the character that they play with. As this is a tough team.
Fever know what Temi Fagbenle is capable of very well. He had a great first season with Caitlin Clark last year. Clark watches on. The Fever trail by 2. Golden State has rattled off the last 9 points. Mitchell sees that double team. McDonald, cross-court pass. Howard, extra find. It's Boston.
Really well done by Indiana. Good spacing, good ball movement. As soon as the trap came, Ari McDonald got behind the trap so that she could see. It's a really good job by Kelsey Mitchell as well.
And that's an offensive foul. It was on the screen. Mitchell trying to fight through it. Like McDonald had her beat, but the long, rangy Fagbenle showing off why he's one of the better defensive bigs in the league.
Well, Fagbenle runs. She runs the floor hard every time.
Mitchell just an ill-advised pass there. It's Indiana's 7th turnover. Burton lines up a 3. That one won't fall. There's Lexi Hull. They're trying to pick up the pace here for Indiana. We're at 4 fast break points here tonight. They'd like that number to be higher as Boston can get that one to go. Battling with Thornton down there on the left block.
Kayla Thornton might give up a few inches in that matchup, but she's not giving up much ground.
Thornton has not scored here for Golden State. Burton dips in but leaves it short. Martin on the handoff, battling through his Hull. Martin had it knocked away by Boston. Shot clock down to 3. Thornton will just have to hoist, and it's an air ball. Good defensive possession by the Fever.
Both of these teams are really making it difficult, right? They're so good screen action. Now they can make some plays out of it. They're very well prepared for it.
Fever jumped out of the gates to a 9-point lead. This game has been played the style of the Valkyries ever since. Mitchell catch and shoot, out on the same page with Boston. He turned it over a couple times here as this Valkyrie from All-Star Weekend converging on Indianapolis. There's Kayla Thornton knocking down a 3. This is the largest lead for Golden State, and Indiana turns it over on the ensuing possession.
I don't think Stephanie White's going to be pleased with some sloppiness. 9 turnovers, and coming off the timeout, Indiana turns it over, and the Valkyries get a triple. That's that situational offense and defense that I'm talking about, Pat.
Here's Hayes driving by Boston and lays it in. Just abrupt turnaround that we have seen since late in the first quarter. A 9-point Fever lead is now a 5-point Valkyries advantage.
The Valkyries guarding inside the 3-point line.
Mitchell gets inside and has her shot blocked.
I think the Valkyries have defended the paint very well in the first half.
And Thornton charging hard. It's a blocking foul.
So on every penetration by the Fever, the Valkyries are flooding the paint.
Semi-circle, it was the right call. And Caitlin Clark, who's played 11 minutes here this afternoon, back on the floor for the final couple of the first half.
Here's a situation where Caitlin Clark enters back into the game off the ball. Might bring her off a stagger. Here she comes off the stagger.
Clark being guarded by Thornton. Bounce into Boston. Boston just tries to bully her way into a triple team. Kick out Mitchell. Shot clock down to 3. Mitchell with that left-handed floater is short. Indiana out of sync.
There are 4 black jerseys in the paint on Aaliyah Boston's attempt in the lane. She makes a good read. Kelsey Mister just misses an easy shot for Kelsey.
Fever hit 4 threes in that first quarter. Have not hit one since. Here is Billings. Mitchell, good hands, takes it away. Valkyries do a nice job of getting back. Mitchell will wait for reinforcements. There's a foul on Thornton, a little too aggressive. Trying to go over what looked like a Boston screen at first.
Well, you got to get skinny, and most teams get into the body of the cutter right here. Watch what Thornton's trying to get over the top of that, and just runs right through Boston.
Clark pulls up. Oh, back tap, but into the hands of Hayes. Hayes attacking Boston, going coast to coast and laying it in.
Tiffany Hayes does exactly what you do against a big in transition. You run right up their backside.
Mitchell, step back. Indiana stays ice cold. The Valkyries have 2 separate 9-0 runs in this quarter.
Got to know time and scored. There's a 2-for-1 opportunity.
18-point swing here. As the Fever have gone from up 9 to down 9. They forced the jump ball here.
And I like Kelsey.
There are some adjustments certainly coming here at halftime. Boston wins the jump ball. Fever can play for the final shot. Now remember, the first quarter, they trapped this early.
I like the 1-4 low. Let Kelsey Mitchell come off a pin down. There's the screen. There's the and usually they ghost that.
Clark on the drive, gets inside, kick out Hull. Hull back for Clark. Clark cross court. Mitchell, does she get it off in time? It will not go. It will not matter.
Get into some better movement and ball movement and shift that defense and not allow them to collapse into the paint.
Austin on a handoff to Kelsey Mitchell here as we are underway, third quarter of action. Clark spinning and lost the handle. Oh, and a collision at midcourt. No foul called either way. And then Kayla Thornton is fouled hard on the other end. Well, there were
right here. I mean, they're going to have to dig in defensively.
Thornton's an 83% free throw shooter. A pillar of consistency here for Golden State. She's been in double figures in 16 of their 18.
Offensively for the Fever, Pat, we haven't seen a lot of middle ball screen action with Caitlin and Aaliyah. We know that that is a successful combination for the Fever. I'm expecting that they might go to some of that with Kelsey Mitchell in the corner, deep corner as a three-point shooter. And Natasha Howard playing sort of in that dunker spot.
And the Valkyries now have their largest lead in the first double-digit lead, and Kate Martin gets free on the inbound.
Too easy.
McDonald finds some space, but can't connect on the three ball. Indiana has hit just one shot now in over 8 minutes, bridging the second and third quarters. Burton leaves it for Martin, who hits a three.
Stephanie White is furious.
The Valkyries have the first 6 of
Iowa. And then there's a miscommunication right there on Clark and
Take every second of the rest of this game to get back into it, and we have to be disciplined every second if we want a chance in this game.
We'll see if the Fever can begin mounting the comeback here. They have just been totally stymied on the offensive end. Thornton launches off the mark on a three. It's a 15-0 run. See Caitlin Clark working the ball up the floor, and we'll try to work Indiana back into this one. Mitchell finds some space. There's a start.
And you know Kelsey Mitchell can get hot in a hurry.
Mitchell is red hot coming into this one.
She plays every second of every opportunity, Kelsey Mitchell. You'll never see her take a play off on either end of the floor.
Burton the hesitation, dangerous pass, but it found its way to Hayes. Her three ball won't fall. Fagbenle battling offensive rebound. And around the rim, gets it to go. Nice footwork by Fagbenle. Fever get a stop, but can't get the defensive rebound.
That's just the second offensive rebound.
Mitchell gets inside, in amongst the trees, hands off Boston, who's fouled. 2 points. She's got 6 points, 5 rebounds here on the afternoon. Indiana's back within 12. Hayes on the drive, the kick out, and Thornton hits a three. Clark launching and hitting. Indiana's offense starting to wake up. Can they get some stops on the defensive end? Thornton misses, but a second offensive rebound of the third quarter. And she is fouled.
Nobody has
starting to heat back up after an extended cold spell. But so far, they're kind of trading baskets with the Valkyries. Thornton has been really effective. Demiris Dantas will play in her first minutes since June 24th in Seattle. She was part of AmeriCup, where Brazil finished with a silver medal, and Dantas had 35 points in the championship game.
She got threes, she got post-up, she hit mid-range. I saw her highlight package, it was outstanding.
Clark drives on Thornton. Clark stepping back, trying to spin her way free. Timpson will take it at Martin, fading and hitting.
The more Timpson plays, the better she gets.
We're already with more points here in the third than they had in the second, but can they get the stops on this end? Good defense there by Mitchell. Thornton's been hot from three. Clark pulls down the rebound, and now Indiana with numbers. Oh, lob ahead, and too far for Timpson.
I mean, honestly, that was the right play.
They were still just shooting at 37%. That was their 13th turnover. Hayes weaves her way inside. Burton thought about the three. Nice closeout by Mitchell. Burton the switch on to Dantas. Cross-court pass. Tip into the corner. It's Martin in and out. And Thornton able to knock that one off of Timpson last. So another second chance opportunity here. You noted they had just one in the first half. This will be their third second chance opportunity for the Valkyries of the third quarter.
See, this is when I think the Valkyries, look, there's a post up on Kate Martin trying to throw the lob, looking to throw the lob on Clark. Yeah, and Caitlin's going to switch that matchup right here.
Now on the court for Golden State.
Still doesn't put more size on Kate Martin. There you go. Lexi Hull's trying to make that switch.
And Clark just took it away from Caitlin Chen. Clark, 3-on-2. Clark on the drive. Clark can't finish. And off of Indiana last. Beaver have had a couple fast break opportunities.
Make that inbound. See, this is where the Valkyries to me are the most dangerous in this kind of lineup right here, because they're all the same size.
Hayes behind the back to Billings. Oh, what a pass. And now feeds it inside to a cutting Thornton, who's fouled. Two great passes there from Tip Hayes.
They're the same size. If Tiff Hayes had connected on that pass, that'd been a top 10 highlight in the league today.
So Thornton started slow offensively, missed her first 5 shots, but now has a game-high 12 points.
And the mental toughness to switch your role from a complementary role to that being of a lead guard in this league. Really impressive by Kayla Thornton.
Clark and the Fever still trying to chip away here. Still a lot of game left to be played, 15+ minutes. Dantas, bounce pass. Clark, here's Hull. And Timpson was held underneath. That's going to stay here. Criminals have done it. Natasha Howard's one of the other 3.
Thornton has been really physical in that matchup with Clark.
Dantas being hounded. Dantas looking for some help. Instead will drive and draw the foul.
You have to be confident coming
After Brazil won the last one. Those two kind of shared that gold medal over the last few cycles.
Caitlin Chen getting extended minutes at the point guard spot for Natalie Nakase.
35-year-old Tiffany Hayes turns it over. And Hayes is still slow to get back. It leaves Dantas wide open. She can't hit. Timpson the rebound. Timpson the stick back.
Got to get a couple of stops in a row here for the Fever.
Clark hounding Caitlin Chen, and she turns it over. Clark's forced a couple turnovers with her defense here in the third.
She leads the team in steals.
Almost always start with your defense. Indiana now starting to settle in defensively. They've cut a 15-point deficit down to 9. I mean, there is still so much time left to go here for the Fever.
When they played the Valkyries the first time, they trapped that second ball screen off that stagger. But they've only been trapping inside 10 on the shot clock, so it does keep you off balance as a ball handler. Like this one right here, they would look to trap that.
Clark gets inside, bank shot won't fall, too strong. Now Chen with some open court ahead. She lofts it up, but leaves it shorts. Mitchell, head full of steam. Maybe lost the handle there just for a moment. She'll launch from 2. Just rim out. Indiana is just a half beat off offensively. They are really close, it appears. Timpson, good hands. Comes up with a block. Clark bouncing. Dantis hitting. And Indiana flipped the script here in Indianapolis today. Arla late back in. She's running the point guard duties. Salon finds some space, can't get the bounce. Thornton tracks it down. She has been everywhere here in the third.
Big and strong.
Late launches and misses. This time it's Cunningham. Ahead to Clark. 3 on 2. Clark lofts it up. Timpson pulls it down and lays it in. Beavers starting to feel it now.
Indiana switching on all ball screen action right now.
Call Clark with a foul on the floor on Salon. That's a big whistle. Salon, fade, fire. Too strong. Timpson had it, lost it. Guess who? Thornton. And another offensive rebound here for the Valkyries in the third quarter. They've got 5 of them in the quarter, and Burton hits a 3 and makes Indiana pay for it.
When you're switching and you're man-to-man on that ball screen action, you got to step up. You can't be in drop coverage on a team that loves to shoot the 3, and it looked like drop even though they're switching.
As you noted, they take more 3s than anybody in the league. Dantis launches. Timpson, offensive rebound. Timpson fires it up, but leaves it short. Burton, cross-court pass. Here's late on the drive, late to the rim and lays it in. It's a 5-0 response from the Valkyries.
Really good ball movement. That should have been a foul right there.
There, the foul does come.
You can't impede the ball handlers. Speaking of movement, then you kind of counteract the defensive 3-second rule. They should coexist, not be counter to each other.
Final 90 seconds of the third quarter. Cunningham launches. Timpson knocked it away and into the hands of McDonald. She and Dantis play catch, and McDonald can't hit on the 3.
Anytime you get that boomerang pass back, that's like a shot of confidence. That means your teammate knows you can make that. I think she just fumbled the catch.
Burton hangs and draws the foul. It's been a really nice result.
At the line for Golden State, 2 shots.
And now a message from Central Midwest Carpenters. Just 1 of 2 from the line.
Let's see if Aaliyah Boston can get going here.
Mitchell crossover off the Boston screen, lost the handle. Cunningham into traffic, lob it up Timpson. Timpson flips it up, shot too strong.
There's a backboard with a big box on it. I might think about using it a few times.
Burton fire away, knocks down a 3. And the Valkyries are on a 9-0 run The poise of this group. She's at her season high now with 4 made threes. And the air out of the balloon here a little bit in Indy. McDonald sees 2, flips to Mitchell. Mitchell on the drive. Mitchell through traffic, draws the foul. You can see her down there asking. And this is there.
She's been missing the first one of 2 free throws.
Well, here's a look at the franchise all-time three-point leaders. And Tamika Catchings has held every cumulative record in this franchise since 2004. She's held every cumulative record for 21 years, and that's going down in the next few games. Lake gets it off. Shot won't fall. Substitution is coming soon, and that she might play the rest of the way. We'll see how Stephanie White manages it. Back Benley driving and draws the foul.
I mean, at least might have 1 foot. You might have 1 foot in the paint on some of those shooters until they make them, right? I mean, you got to know personnel.
Mitchell pulls up, shot rims out.
Even the pin down action that Kelsey Mitchell excels at, those shots aren't falling today.
Back Benley stepped on the baseline, and it's a turnover.
This is where the depth of the Valkyrie is, because they can change the rhythm too. I mean, Fag Benley runs the floor. That's one of her great skills.
And Mitchell had it taken away on the handoff. Carla Lake comes up with the steal. Donald and Mitchell just not close enough there on the handoff. They let that go here today. Here's Burton driving on McDonald, hangs, and draws a foul.
At the strike for Golden State, 2 shots.
I've been impressed with Veronica Burton. I watched the game Friday night. I thought she played really well in Atlanta. And she's played well here today.
She's showing why she was picked 7th in the draft back in 2022 at Northwestern.
The great Joe McEwen, her coach in college. They never beat the Iowa Hawkeyes with Veronica Burton on the floor against Caitlin Clark and Kate Martin, but they played some good games.
It's a 12-1 run here for the Valkyries. Can Indiana shift the momentum, and can they do so in time? Boston sees the double team. Cunningham back for McDonald.
That's that boomerang pass I'm talking about.
Indiana just 6 of 21 from the three-point line here this afternoon. That's 29%. Late steps into a 3. Here is Boston going coast to coast, taking on her former teammate, pins her inside, but can't finish.
That's just the 6th field goal attempt for Aaliyah Boston.
Caitlin Clark is ready to check in. Hayes gets by Boston, got by Howard. Bank shot, just a bit too much heat on it. And Stephanie White will take a timeout. Get Caitlin Clark back in on the floor. We're looking at their largest deficit. Clark catch and shoot. Hull with the rebound. Second chance opportunity. Cunningham, feed inside. Howard sees a double team. Howard backs her way in. Here is a Boston 3. That's too strong. Beaver have hit just 2 of their last 16 shots from the three-point line.
I mean, Boston has made 3 triples all season. She's 3 for 13.
Boston just took that one away. Hayes and McBenley not on the same page. Here's Clark off to the races. Clark flips it up, flips it in.
Full court pressure off the main basket. Indiana has to find ways to speed up the game right here. You might have to take a few gambles on defense.
Hayes on the drive, again goes behind the back. Not the gamble the Valkyries were hoping for. It's gonna be a jump ball. This is all started by that chess piece move by Caitlin Clark. She went into the middle. In fact, Bentley said, okay, we're going to go the other way. Bentley tips it back, and Tiffany Hayes does come down with it.
I don't know about.
Back Bentley driving into Clark, puts on the brakes, can't finish. Burton into the corner, Thornton. Oh, it hit the rim twice. Thornton another offensive rebound, and Burton delivers.
Wow. Veronica Burton is having a game.
An offensive rebound has been really problematic for the Fever here in the second half. Austin was held on the entry pass.
Burton was 3 for 4 in Atlanta from 3. She's 5 for 6 today.
Clark being swarmed. Clark with a stop and go. Clark flips it up. Bank shot off the mark.
Caitlin Clark does lead the league in unassisted baskets. She makes more baskets off the bounce than she does off the pass than anyone in the league.
Salon pulls up off the mark. Here is Clark. Space to roam. Clark spins her way into traffic. Cunningham, bounce pass, Hall. There is just a lid on the rim for Indiana right now. Valkyries have held 8 opponents this year under 80. They're 8-0 in those games. And the Fever have been held to 53 points, and look at the ball movement, and it leaves Thornton wide open.
It was 55 to 50. It's now a 20-point lead.
Hall ducks in and gets the angle. We've seen just 3 or 4 massive runs here from the Valkyries. Fever got out to that early 9-point lead. And the Valkyries have just blitzed Indiana. As Timpson jumps into the passing lane, comes up with a steal. Here's Cunningham. Leaves it back for Timpson. Puts on the brakes. Timeout, Natalie Nicase.
They're on track to not shoot it well here as Lexi Hall misses a layup. This could be their worst field goal percentage of the season, which is less than 33%.
Salon is fouled as Timpson came in to try to help. Thornton launches and gets the bounce.
I mean, if you're going to trap, you got to take the first pass away, and Indiana didn't do that. But the Valkyries flooded the strong side, so Lexi Hall was in between 2 players there, whether to deny the first pass away or worry about the shot in the corner as well.
Mitchell sets up Boston, who can't connect. Well, some of this is the Valkyries, who have a tremendous defense, who have put together a tremendous performance. But we've seen the Fever miss a lot of open looks, and some of that is they've been out of rhythm, and those open looks just feel a little less open when you're struggling.
I think you got to give the team, with Caitlin Clark being reacclimated, just a little time. All right, you need a little practice. You need a few more reps.
Lexi Hall, corner 3 off the mark.
Who has made more corner 3s in the league than anyone, and even Lexi Hall with a wide open look is struggling outside the arc today. Sometimes it's guarding the ball and not worrying about guarding the action. As Aaliyah Boston jumps out on a hedge and draws a foul.
And that's Indiana's 5th. After the Valkyries had that initial run to go up by 15, the Fever cut it to 55-50.
one thing about playing a noon game when you don't shoot it well, the practice court will be wide open later this afternoon. I bet there'll be several Fever players getting shots up later.
Now under 30% on the day for Indiana. They're 23% from the three-point line. Fever just 4 fourth-quarter points. Mitchell driving into traffic, flips it up and draws the foul. I think you made a really good point there about the reacclimation process, and if you think about how often the Fever have had to do that this year, the start of the season is always that. Clark went down with a quad injury 5 games in, missed 5.
I mean, you play 4, you miss 4, you play 5, you miss 5. That's Caitlin's journey so far this season.
And that's a lot of reacclimating and acclimating for a team that plays 2 very different styles with and without her. And look, it's clear the Fever need her to accomplish the type of goals they want to this year, but I think it might take a game or 2 for this team to get back in the flow of things with Clark back on the floor. There's Kate Martin, who's played really well today, had a key 5-0 stretch. Mitchell.
Indiana just didn't get enough transition opportunity. They did it early in the game.
Timpson spins and with the left hand finishes. Final 90 seconds here on one of the signature wins of the Valkyrie season here so far. Their story has been they've been great at home. They've used that Chase Center momentum, sold out crowd. Beautiful building there in San Francisco.
Valhalla is a real thing.
Valhalla.
It is awesome there.
They're 7-3 in that building. 2 at the signature win of the year, perhaps.
I thought it felt like a true road game for the Fever.
And those these days are a rarity. McDonald feeds Timpson. Nice game for Michaela Timpson. 10 points, 6 rebounds, has 3 steals as well. Bright spot in a tough afternoon of hoops here from Indianapolis. Ami here spinning on Timpson. Defended well. Ami here with the offensive rebound. Third chance opportunity. Salon comes charging in. 4th chance opportunity. Stephanie White's going to have a lot on tape. She's going to be able to go back and look at this one. As our matinee day game comes to a close.